Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more. Dell.
Well, Pakistan, among other things, have made it a habit of these inevitable wins against the two associate nations in their group. But that is a significant, important win against Scotland by 72 runs for a number of reasons. One, of course, that it keeps Pakistan as the only team in the Super 12s to win 5 out of 5, and they reclaim top spot that they had lost to New Zealand just for a little while after Kane Williamson side beat Afghanistan in the afternoon fixture. They book a semi-final berth against the runners-up of Group 1 in Australia. That'll happen on Thursday in Dubai, and it's all smiles if you're a Pakistan fan. Shaan, Masood and Ajit Agarkar to wrap things up very quickly on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout powered by Dell. Just the kind of performance you'd want, Shaan. Pakistan flexing some serious muscle on way en route to the semi-finals.
Yeah, I mean, very clinical, a lot of boxes ticked. Shoaib Malik showing what he can do was very crucial for Pakistan. Hafiz again chipped in with a good 30. Babar as consistent as ever. And then with the spinners have been brilliant. I think they've sort of been overshadowed by the fast bowlers, but you have to give credit to both spinners. And it was great to see Shadab picking up a few wickets today as well.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, Ajit, we knew this result would come, but it with these nothing to lose sort of games, you could argue Scotland had their moments in the game against New Zealand too. So Pakistan had just not let the quality drop. Fair to say they've been the outstanding team in this group, haven't they?
By far, I think there's no doubt about it. Beat India comprehensively, beat New Zealand well, and yeah, today, I mean, look, that's the one disappointing thing about the associate nations, that they've never
Yeah.
looked like upsetting anyone. I mean, I'm going to put Afghanistan in that group as well, even though they are no more an associate nation. They never looked like upsetting one of the top teams. Yeah, the game against Pakistan got a bit close, but uh, it's that's been the disappointing thing, particularly in T20 cricket, where you think the lesser teams will get a bit closer to some of the stronger teams, because it only takes one performance from a batter or a bowler to change the course of the game. So very good from Pakistan again, and it's not a surprise. I think they've been clearly the best team in this group, and they've shown it again.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing, right? There are still going to be those in cricket who would argue, Shan, whether the associates have a place in ICC events. At the same time, I'm for one saying it has to be more teams playing cricket. But when the Gulf is exposed this way, you sometimes think whether it's a great advert for the sport.
Well, I mean, again, you have to look at it this way that they'll learn from these experiences. And
Yeah.
let's be honest, in Namibia and Scotland, there weren't really home conditions for them, and they're playing against sides that India, Pakistan, and even Afghanistan. There are three sides that play cricket regularly in the UAE. They've got world-class bowling attacks. They've got world-class batsmen in their ranks. So the only way these guys are going to learn is to get exposure against them. And then they're going to fail at times, but they're going to learn from these failures. They're going to go back. Like let's say a country like Scotland and Ireland, they have wealth of resources in terms of how the countries are itself. So hopefully they'll get more investment in cricket. They'll get the younger generation to take up the sport more, and the more they'll see the people playing on TV, the more they're going to take an interest. So again, you need associates, you need the game to grow, and the World Cup's a special place for these teams to take part in.
Yeah, I guess we should also remind our viewers that indeed Bangladesh would be a threat, you think, in more familiar conditions. And fair to say, Ajit, while there would be many cynics of this view that would say, oh, these games aren't competitive, a number of the full member teams haven't been competitive. In fact, the Super 12 has been plagued with fairly one sided games, with the exception of two or three.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't mean to be critical or disrespectful to the associate
Sure.
nations. Bangladesh were, I mean, from their point of view, were absolutely abysmal, really.
Yeah.
Very disappointing from them, because they came into this thinking that they might have a chance to qualify for the semifinals, and didn't win a single game. And just the performances, sometimes you see if a team is competing or not, and there have been a fair few teams which haven't really competed in games. Everyone wins games, everyone loses games. That's just part and parcel of it. Sometimes you see the competitiveness. I think Namibia on that front have been probably the best out of the associate nations that we've seen, because they've shown that they can compete with the bigger teams. Didn't look like, perhaps upsetting, but you see some sort of competition, and that's what you
Sure.
want to see, and that's the only way you'll see them improve. Hopefully, they'll be better for this experience. And T20 cricket is one place where certainly they can start getting closer to some of the top teams. Unfortunately, we haven't seen enough of it in this World Cup. Maybe the next one might provide us with better advert.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done to Scotland. We give them our best wishes, even though they've not quite had the tournament to remember. They bow out of this tournament with fond memories of at least having beaten Bangladesh in round one. As far as Pakistan go, this team seems to be batting well, bowling well, catching everything. Shaan, they're doing everything that Pakistan sides traditionally don't do even when they win ICC events. Normally, they pick up the pace at the end. So, is there any box left unticked ahead of that semi-final against Australia? And what sort of threat do Australia pose to this Pakistan side?
I think, look, it's good. There's a blessing in disguise that Fakhar Zaman hasn't clicked yet. He might just need that one game, maybe against Australia. There are a few boxes that Pakistan have ticked really well. Number one, the spinners and their economy rate. It's the second best in the tournament after England. And then the death batting. They're scoring at around 14 and a half runs in the last 5 overs. So that's something that Pakistan can build upon, and they can allow Babar and Rizwan to take their time and give that platform. The only thing I'll say is when they face Australia is this is probably the first time Pakistan is going to face a 140 above consistent bowling attack. It's going to be Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood. So that's going to be a challenge for Pakistan because let's be fair, except really Bumrah, nobody really clicked 140 consistently in this group against Pakistan. So let's see. And then Dubai obviously has more bounce, has more pace. And Australia have been very ruthless in terms of bowling first. They've bowled out Sri Lanka in the 150s and they've chased that convincingly. They've even chased 157 against West Indies pretty convincingly. So if you're playing Australia, you'll need something over 160. The way they've chased those two scores, you'll need something around 180 if you're batting first. And if you're bowling first, then Pakistan have a game plan. They're gonna look to repeat what they did against India, against Afghanistan, where the power plays have been brilliant and the spinners have come in. They've done well in the middle overs, and then the fast bowlers have finished it off really well. But again, that toss will be really important, and those three Australian quicks, that'll be an interesting battle.
Yeah, you know that the tosses in Dubai have been crucial. Ajit, you're going to be with us for that semi-final, so I'm going to hold your thoughts just until then. But if there's one box left to tick, is it Shaheen Shah Afridi just learning to land that front foot behind the line?
Could end up being crucial. We've seen
Yeah.
that happen in a finals in Champions Trophy before
Yeah.
for India. So it could be as crucial as that. Yeah, those are the. I mean, nobody wants to bowl no balls intentionally, obviously, but those are the mistakes that you want to minimize if you want to be a champion team.
Yeah, that's this certainly looks like a champion team. Does Pakistan? Their campaign has been pretty much flawless or near perfect because that shows on the scoreboard on the points table 5 out of 5 for Babar Azam's team. We haven't even mentioned him today because 66 is just what we've come to expect from Babar in a tournament where captains have struggled otherwise. Ajit Agarkar, thank you very much. Shaan Masood, our odd rostering has you now scheduled for the final if Pakistan get there. So I really hope we do see you again this tournament. If we don't, I must say it's been an absolute pleasure. I think Ajit and me speak together. It's the first time we worked with Shaan. Shaan's still young in his broadcast career, Ajit, but it's been fun talking cricket and talking Pakistan cricket with him, hasn't it?
No, no, absolutely lovely. It's been a real pleasure and great fun.
Yeah.
Thank you
Shaan,
so much. Thank you so much. I
thank you
really
so much.
appreciate it.
Something tells me we'll see you again on the 14th of
Hopefully.
November, right?
Fingers
If,
crossed.
if things go well against Australia. But it's been a wonderful experience. On Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, powered by Dell. We still have one game to cover. Let's not forget that. Don't not schedule or tune in tomorrow at 7:30 or 7 o'clock rather when we go live for India versus Namibia. That's Indian Standard Time. It will, even though India are out of it, be a significant game, you think, for the era that Virat Kohli has enjoyed as T20 captain, and the final game with Ravi Shastri as head coach too. So there'll be a nice comprehensive review, you think, of the Indian team as well as Namibia, who have been the better of the associate nations, certainly in this World Cup, as Ajit and Shaan have pointed out previously too. So join us for India v Namibia, and we've already got one eye on what's turning out to be a cracking semi-final lineup, which was confirmed today as New Zealand and Pakistan go through to the semis. India go out. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more, Dell.